some things about the Quran, about Fatiha, that are just absolutely mind-blowing. To me, they are absolutely mind-blowing. The first three ayat about the Fatiha are about Allah. The first three, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, those three ayat are about who? Allah. The last three, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, Siratal Ladhina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayril Maghdubi Alayhim Waladdallin, those last three are actually about us. Okay, there's a middle ayah. The middle ayah is what we want to give Allah and what we want from Allah. What we want to give Him is ourselves and slavery. What we want from Him is help. In other words, the first part of the Fatiha is about Allah. The middle part is between us and Allah. And the last part is about ourselves. Everything's totally balanced out. Allah, both of us, ourselves. Okay, so this is our relationship with Allah, perfectly balanced. Now, the first three statements were Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and what? Maliki Yawmiddin. You know what the conclusion of those three things is? I described to you praise and gratitude, that He's the master, that He's so caring and loving that He doesn't punish you right away, but there will be a judgment day. The conclusion of all of that is, I want to be your slave. Okay, you know what? I'm ready. Sign me up. What's that conclusion in Arabic? How do you say that in Arabic? Iyaka na'budu. Okay. So the conclusion of the first part is Iyaka na'budu. What's the next part? Wa iyaka nasta'in. We're asking for your help. Notice, the rest of the Fatiha is simply us asking for help. Guide us, show us the path of the good, not the path of the bad. Isn't that all of that asking for help? In other words, in Iyaka na'budu is the conclusion of part 1, and Iyaka nasta'in is the introduction to part 2. It's beautifully balanced. This is beautifully balanced. Another kind of balance. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. That part was about who? What did I say? It's about Allah. Did you learn something about Allah in that part? So that part was knowledge. That part was what? Knowledge. Then when we say we want to be slaves, we want help, guide us, what is that? Action. We want to take action now. We want to become slaves. So the first part was knowledge, and the second part of the surah is action. Okay. Now if you have two things, if you have knowledge and you have action, then you are on the straight path. Isn't that true? Which is why Allah mentions the straight path. So far Allah mentioned knowledge, then He mentioned action, then He mentioned the people on the straight path. People on the straight path are people who have knowledge and they have action, both. Okay. What is al-maghdubi alayhim? What do they have? They have knowledge, but they don't have action. And what is ad-dallin? People who don't have knowledge, but they still have great action. Fatiha began with knowledge, then talked about action, then talked about the people who have both, then talked about people who are missing one, then talked about people who are missing the other. It's a complete picture of knowledge and action. In Arabic, there are two kinds of sentences. Sentences that are noun-focused, noun-based, and sentences that are verb-based. Nouns, do nouns have tense? Are nouns past tense, present tense, future tense nouns? Is there such a thing? So you can say that nouns are timeless. You can say nouns are timeless, right? And verbs, do they have a tense? Which means they're stuck in time, which means they're temporary. So it's okay to say that nouns are permanent, forever, and verbs are temporary. I'm telling you something about linguistics now. Okay? Fatiha, what was the first part about? It was about Allah. The middle part was between us and Allah, remember? We want to be His slaves, but we want His help. So half of it was for Him and half of it was for us. The last part is about who? Us. Okay, here's this. Check this out. Part 1 of Fatiha is noun-based. Part 3, where we're asking, is verb-based. And the middle part, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, is actually, even though it's verb-based, it begins with a noun. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture of noun and verb-based. So once again, the first part is what again? Noun-based. The middle part is both noun and verb. And the last part is verb-based. What did I say about nouns? They're timeless. What's the first part about? So the part about Allah is timeless. Because Allah is timeless. What's the last part about? Us. And what kind of language is used? Verb-based. Because we ourselves are what? Temporary. The middle part, according to Arabic grammar, is a mixture of both. But it's an ism in the beginning, it's a noun in the beginning, even though it's a verb sentence. Which is strange. It's a mixture of both. And what was the middle ayah about? Was it a mixture of both? Something for us, something for Allah? Subhanallah. For someone to speak and say, I'm talking about someone permanent. Who knows the last surah of the Quran? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِي. Okay, so you ask Allah to protect you, and He is the master of the people. Fatihah, you called Him Rabbil Alameen, master of all nations. And in Nas, you called Him master of all people. In Fatihah, you said Maliki Yawmiddin. And in Nas, you say what? Malikin Nas. In Fatihah, you say Iyaka na'budu, we're ready to worship you. When we worship Him, we say La ilaha illallah, yes? And in Nas, we say Ilahin Nas. You're the ilah of the people. Because we worship you. In Fatihah, you say we are ready to worship you. And then we say, please guide us to the straight path and keep us away from two bad influences. What are the two bad influences? Al-Maghdub alayhim and Ad-Dallin. You go in Nas and you recite Nas and you say, I don't want the bad influence that happens inside of me. See, the Fatihah's bad influences are outside. Al-Maghdub alayhim and Ad-Dallin. But there are also bad influences inside, personally. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi suduri nas. And they're also of two kinds. Min al-jinnati wan nas. The way Quran begins, it complements the way Quran ends. In Fatihah, Allah did not tell us to say anything. We said it ourselves. Iyaka na'budu. Allah did not say, Qul Iyaka na'budu. No, we said it on our own. But now that you've accepted, now you can be told what to do. In Fatihah, Nas, what does He say? Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Fatihah is all positive. Alhamdulillah, it began with something positive. Well, you need positive, but you also need negative reinforcement. You need to be ready to have a positive relationship with Allah, but in times of trouble, you need to seek refuge with Allah. So the negative is mentioned in Nas. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. I seek refuge with the Master. Subhanallah. Beginning and end of Quran is connected.